In my last two videos about Belgium, I've not only looked at the great things about the country and learned some interesting facts about it, but I've also looked at how powerful this country is in terms of military. And to dive further into understanding the defensive capabilities of Belgium, we look at one of the oldest main components of the entire armed forces, and that is the land component, known strictly as the army. What's going on, guys? Welcome to FTD Facts. My name is Dave Wapple, and welcome to a channel where I look at people, cultures, and places. And yeah, of course, militaries from all around the world. Now, it's your first time here and you like learning about militaries, boom, you want to hit that subscribe button because that's what I do here. On top of that, I'm really excited to talk about Belgium and its actual army because for me, looked at a lot of different armies from Europe, and Belgium, it's kind of a new one on the block. They've only been around since like 1830, so just because they don't have a lot of history doesn't mean that's a bad thing, and I'm excited to learn about that. So with that in mind, guys, let's break down the facts and let's get right into talking about these guys. So like I said, the Belgian army, it's been around not for a long time, officially beginning in October of 1830. Now you may be wondering to yourself, you're going, whoa, wait, Dave, man, why are they so late? And some of you guys from Belgium may be going, whoa, Dave, no, man, that's not true. They've been around for a much longer time before that. That is true. As a matter of fact, the area of Belgium has had an army and armed forces for quite a long time, but the actual country itself, Belgium, didn't come around till like 1830, and that is when they got their very own army. Now, theoretically, the army itself has two names, which is known as the land component, which is more common in the Dutch tongue, but for the French Wallonian side, they also call it composite terre. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't know if that really screwed up my French. I am Canadian, and we're supposed to have French Canadian, and that's how we would say it, composite terre. Hopefully that's right. I don't know if that's how they say it in Wallonia. But however, before 1945, the Belgian army was strictly known as the Belgian Army, and it wasn't until after that it got the rename to land component. So for this video, I'm going to dive into some of the history, because I'm not just going to look at what the army is like today, because we got to understand where they came from to understand what they're all about today. And with that, we're going, boom, all the way back to 1830, guys. The beginning of Belgium. Because the first real major land force unit was the Belgian paramilitary unit known as the Garde Civique. And unfortunately, this unit existed only until about 1914 when it was demobilized from the German invasion of Belgium. However, the group itself was officially around until about 1920 when it became decommissioned. That's partially due to the fact that they were like, this unit did not do good against fighting off the Germans. Nah, so we're going to rename it and do a whole new unit. However, truth be told, a Belgian army had actually existed in the country before, and these guys were known as the Belgian Legion. And as a matter of fact, the Belgian Legion has pretty much a history dating back to at least 1782, in which throughout history, it served not only for the French, but also the Austrian Netherlands governments. However, by the years of the 19th and 20th century, Belgium had become a very neutral country, and because of that, the army was classified more as a defensive force rather than a giant offensive army. And however, I should also mention that around the time of 1830 when it first began, they say that there was approximately 20,000 troops that were a part of the army itself. But however, let's be perfectly honest, that all changed in 1868 when the army was like, brah, we need to introduce conscription. And this was majorly due to the fact that Belgium had become involved in what is known as the Franco-Prussian Wars. And also, I should mention that there was a rather famous group in the army of Belgium around this time, and that was the Corps Expeditionaire Belge, or the Belgian Expeditionary Force. And these guys, believe it or not, they served in Mexico, but only for a really short amount of time. Because they were around from 1864 to 1867, in which afterwards they returned home, and officially the unit was closed down. And interesting enough to know when it comes to the army of Belgium, believe it or not, they've also been involved in Congo, and in 1905, they were also in China. Which to me, I thought was really interesting because it showed that, you know, Belgium at such a young time, I mean, think about it, 1830 and it's 1905 involved in China. It's been a part of international operations from the get-go. That's pretty awesome. However, their involvement in worldwide operations was about to get a lot bigger because World War I was right around the corner. By the way, guys, before I get into the whole World War I thing and continuing to learn more about what happened in the 20th century, I just want to let you guys know, just so you know, a lot of you guys are probably here, you may be from Belgium itself, that's usually what happens in our videos, and you guys are wanting to know more about military forces in Belgium. Well, first of all, guys, I got a really awesome Belgian military playlist. It's all about military in Belgium, you guys can click it right here. But don't leave the video just yet. I'll also put it at the end and then the description box below if you want to check it out. That being said, if you just want to learn more about Belgium on itself, maybe you're from that country and want to know what's great about it, you can also check this playlist here. It's got some cool videos just about Belgium and what's good about it. But let's talk about World War I. Now, on the eve of World War I, it was said that Belgium had approximately 19 infantry units, 10 cavalry units, and 8 artillery units. However, in August of 1914, Germany had invaded Belgium. However, unfortunately for Belgium, by the end of that year, pretty much Germany had overrun the entire country, and hey, that country was occupied. And it was said during the entire invasion of World War I, there was roughly 600,000 to 750,000 German troops against approximately 115,000 to 220,000 Belgian troops. Now, after, of course, World War I had ended, Belgium had become its own country yet again, and military was still a very important thing because they didn't want anything to happen again right after World War I. And with that in mind, by the year of 1926, the army itself had a size of 350,000 troops. And by the beginning of World War II, following the immediate invasion of Poland, the Belgian king mobilized the military, resulting in it having a size of 550,000 to 600,000 troops. Unfortunately, in May of 1940, along with many other countries within Europe, Germany pretty much invaded Belgium yet again. However, let's be real, Belgium did not stop there. Just because they were invaded did not mean they did not give up the fight. As a matter of fact, a lot of units managed to flee the country and start their own groups to continue to fight the Germans with the Allied countries. As a matter of fact, it's been stated that 163 Belgian troops managed to evacuate in the Dunkirk evacuation alone. And some of these units, for example, the 1st Belgian Infantry Brigade, and as well the 10 Commando Unit and the 5th Special Service, which was an airborne troop that was under the British SAS, were units that all had Belgians within them or were completely all of Belgian descent. Now, moving a little bit forward, we know World War II came to an end, Belgium became its own self-governed country again, the Germans were gone, and the Cold War was just around the corner, or actually the Cold War was happening. And believe it or not, during this time, the Belgium land component supplied troops for the defense of West Germany. And this mission was given to the 1st Belgian Corps. Within it, there was the 1st Infantry Division and the 16th Mechanized Division as well. But of course, nowadays, things are a little bit different. You don't have the Cold War anymore, so let's talk about today's forces, which may be a lot more reduced than they were at the height of the Cold War, but hey, there's not as much combat. For example, in today's world, they say the land component, which is the largest arm of the defense forces, at least in terms of troop numbers, they got a lot of soldiers in it, has an estimated size of approximately 12,000 military personnel and approximately 2,000 civilian personnel, in which all of these are under the commander of Major General Mark This. And with that, the structure of the army, it is broken up into 5 different sections. For example, there is combat, command, support, services, and training. And with these 5 different sections and all these troops, the land component also operates out of 2 major bases. One down south in Marche-en-Famenne, which is in the province of Luxembourg, not to be confused with the country. And that base is famous for light infantry units. And the second, which is home to the motorized brigade, is located in the north in Leopoldsburg. I also should mention that the motorized brigade is a rather new brigade that formed in 2011. However, it basically evolved out of the independent Belgian brigade, which has been around since 1943. And within the entire land component, it breaks down into 5 major infantry battalions, and it also has a special forces group and an immediate reaction cell known as the IRC, in which that group has 1 parachute and commando battalion. Also, did you know that the Belgian army does not use any tanks? As a matter of fact, it's a rather new thing. They got rid of tanks and they wanted more wheeled vehicles. And with that, their heaviest vehicle is the Piranha 3C, which is an armored fighting vehicle, and they have approximately 268 of them. They also use the Panzer 1s, which is an armored personnel carrier. As for handhelds, when it comes to machine guns, they use the FN Uzi and the FN P90. For assault rifles, they use the FN NFC and the FN 2000 and many different versions of SCARs. Snipers, they use the Accuracy International Arctic Warfare and the Beretta M107A1 and a SCAR version of the sniper rifle. For light machine guns, they also use the FN Minimi and the FN MAG. And last but not least, I should just mention that the Belgian army is going through a major modernization program. They're trying to give new equipment and new body armor to the soldiers, in which they estimate that's going to be around 2030. Overall, the entire land component has approximately 35 units trained and ready for any operation that is thrown at them. But thanks for watching, guys. My name is Dave Wappel, and this is all the information that I could gather on the Belgian Armed Forces, or the Army, the land component. It's so hard, I gotta remind myself to say land component all the time. We're not talking about the armed forces, we're talking about the land component, just the land component, that's it. But however, guys, hope you like this video. Also, before you get out of here, at the end of this video, in the description box below, if you guys want to check out more military stuff from Belgium, boom, we got those playlists. We also got just the country itself, so feel free to check those out. But hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here, and yeah, feel free to leave a comment for a future, or a suggestion for a future video, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye-bye. Later. Alright, so guys, here are those military playlists that I was telling you about. You got, boom, right here, that military playlist. That's a Belgian military playlist, I should say. I know you guys are interested in, if you're listening to me right now and you've made it this far because you just want more military content. There's also this video just on Belgium. Feel free to check them out, and I'll see you later.